I mean that little hole there. I'll let Rick do all the other one. I'm not going to do it. And then we're going to flux the ring. And you want to grab the ring with a pair of pliers because the ring obviously is going to get really hot. You're not going to be able to hold it with your fingers. One of the things I was telling, I don't know if you heard me telling Rick, was that I split these open a little bit so there's a little bit bigger, wider gap in there. And I don't know if you can see the end of this, but the way the zinc is made, you know, there's a line right there, you know, from the adjustable U zinc. And so what I'm trying to do is set that ring so it sits right in onto that a little bit. And because of that, it sits in there a little bit more, and I think it holds better. You know, we don't, around here, we don't believe in soldering it to the face of the cane like this, because we think it doesn't hold all that well. I mean, there's a good chance it might fall off. On really big panels, what people will do sometimes is they'll take copper wire and wrap it around this ring and feed the wire all the way through the zinc, you know, pull it nice and tight, and then solder it again down there, and then, you know, and solder it here, so you're really, you know, soldering in a couple spots. These panels don't need that sort of thing. So I flux this, I flux that, that's ready to go. Again, try to keep your solder tip real clean because it will grab the solder a little easier. You want to hold this kind of in place, keep it kind of steady, come in with the iron, and now I'm turning the iron towards the zinc. And what I'm trying to do is get it to fall off. And then hold the ring for a couple seconds for it to set up. And that was great. And don't grab that one, because that one's really hot. So, I'm fluxing this one again. That didn't work. Let's get some more solder. And I was telling Rick, I mean, you don't really care what the solder seams look like, to be honest, because we're going to, I was starting to close one of the holes. So let me pull that off. It's not the end of the world if you close off that hole. You can usually open it back up if you have to. Alright. Move around long enough. Keep that clean. Grab the... Okay, wait a couple seconds. Then let go. Hey, look at that. Normally when you're doing this, you're working on them kind of both at the same time, right? You're doing this one, then you come over and attach that one. And so this one you're letting kind of cool off while you're working. I'm going to let Rick do the other one, so so I'm just going to work on this one. But otherwise, that's what you would do. That's one way of making sure you don't get it too hot, right? Because otherwise, you get this too hot and the ring is just going to fall off. I mean, that's not good enough to hold it on. I was just thinking of it more like tack soldering, right? I'm just trying to get the ring to stay on. So the next thing I'm going to do now is come in, I'm going to grab a little bit more flux because it helps with this area, and I'm going to flux that spot. And what we're really trying to do is fill in any holes that are there, and I'm trying to get the solder to sink in a little bit more so it's really grabbing that ring pretty good. Same deal, it's, you know, do this kind of a setup because you can't hold all three things at once. Grab that. What I do is, as soon as I see the solder leave the tip, I take the iron away. Because, again, if you get any hotter, the ring's just going to come off. And like I said, normally you're bouncing back and forth between the two rings, so you're letting one cool while you're working on the other. I'm not doing that, so I'm just running my mouth so it has a chance to cool off. And then I think I have enough solder there, so I'm not going to do anything else to it except this. So, same deal. As soon as I see the solder melt, take the iron away. And all I'm trying to do here is get it to sink in a little bit more and hopefully grab onto that ring. Can you see? I don't know how well you can see this backside.